Welcome back after comparison of different virtual machine, different ESXi versions related to the virtualization infrastructure. Right now, we get the basic concepts and we are ready to configure or to create the first virtual machine in our own infrastructure. So let's move and start the process of creating the virtual machine. So I have my web browser connected with my ESXi host machine. So here are the options. Now you can see that virtual machines are in number 0. So if you want to create the virtual machines, we have this option, create or register virtual machine. So I just click on this button. Here you can see that create a new virtual machine. Okay, and the second option is deploy a virtual machine from OVF or OVA file. We will definitely utilize these options when we get the basic information related to the virtual machine deployment, and register an existing virtual machine. That is the important thing. That is the important option. In the introduction sessions of the virtualization, I told you that whenever we create the virtual machine, these virtual machines are in the form of file, and their file extension was VmWare. So whenever your physical machine get faulty, its motherboard get failed, or its Ethernet card get failed, or any storage media get failed, you can just get your virtual machine from there and just import over here. So if you have an existing virtual machine and you want to add in your new infrastructure on in your new ESXi host, you can also utilize this option. But right now we don't have any existing virtual machine, so we will go with the first option, create a new virtual machine. So then click on the next button. Here click the name, specify the unique name and OS. So here if you are working in the demo session, it's simple, you can put the name XYZ ABC or anything else, but make your practice on the demo stations, because when you are creating virtual machines in the industry, it must be identical in case of name with a specific operating system identity. So let's see, I'm going to plan with the deployment of a domain controller for our own infrastructure, and I'm using operating system server 2016. So how can I use the name? So here VM1 virtual machine 1 domain controller server 2016. I can put this identical name, so during the documentation when I will work in future on my ESXi host, so it will be identical for me. Or if I left the organization, other people join this, or they are working in number of other shifts, so they can easily identify from its name that for which purpose we create this virtual machine. So here is the thing, compatibility, definitely we need to select ESXi 6.7 virtual machine. If you have other ESXi host like 6.0 or 5.5, then you have to select the back version, because if you select the 6.7, then the previous versions will not be supported. So that's why it's a time to take the decision. You are going to upgrade all your ESXi host, or you are going to configure your all ESXi host with the 6.7. So it's good. Otherwise, if you have previously older versions like 6.5 or 6.0, so you have to select ESXi 6.0 with the backward compatibility. Otherwise, if you have all the newest version of ESXi host, select 6.7, we don't have any issue. Guest OS family. Definitely you are going to create the virtual machine. So which operating system you want to install on this virtual machine? Here you select the category. It might be Linux, it might be Mac OS, other, and Windows. So I'm going to install the Windows operating system, and then here select the guest OS version. So when I select the Windows operating system, there are number of options available here. So from here I just select server 2016 64-bit or any other version which I want to install. So I just select this version. Okay, and enable Windows virtualization based security. When you click this option, the virtualization security parameters will be automatically implemented on this virtual machine. So I go with the simple options. Right now I have a data store which configured with this ESXI host. It might be your SAS drive, it might be your SSD or NVMe storage. So right now I have a 32 GB of storage media available where I can store my virtual machine. And here you can see the option of persistent memory, which I just discussed in the previous section, that this persistent memory option is used for performance optimization, and they have dedicated type of storage media by HP, Dell, and other vendors. So if you have this type of memory, so then you can also configure the persistent memory option with your virtual machine for performance optimization. Otherwise you can go with the standard option. So I don't have right now, I will go with the standard option and then select next. When I select the next, it told me that now select your hardware specs for your virtual machine, which was in the previous sessions we discussed that hypervisor is capable to create repositories in a sense of virtual machines. So right now time comes up, and then we are going to discuss how can we select our hardware requirements related to this virtual machine. So here is the CPU. So I just select the 4 number of CPUs for this, and for memory it's 4 GB enough for me. And what about the hard disk? I just select 20 GB. Okay, and then I select the data store one. If I have multiple data stores, then I can browse from here. But right now I just have a single data store, so that's why single drive for virtual machine storage. So I will go with the default option. Here, from here I can select thin provision, thick provision, and thick provision eagerly zeroid. Okay, I will go with the thin provision. Right now it's not time to discuss these types. I will spend other session on it, and will discuss in detail what is the real meaning of thick, thin provisions related to the hard disk selection or related to your storage media selection. So right now go with the default options, all other options. Okay, and select next. All parameters are summarized over here, you can see from here, and if you want to change anything else, go back and change the things. Otherwise click on the finish option, and within few seconds your virtual machine will be created over here. Here you can see that virtual machine is created. VM domain controller server 2016. Now in upcoming session we will go and explore other options related to the customization of this virtual machine. So let's move further and get deep dive into the implementation options of virtual machine.